You gonna take a sip
Yeah,
first?
I'm gonna sip, yeah.
Take your
Clear my
sip and then
throat a
I'll
little
start it.
Cool.
Andrew,
Yeah.
how many seagulls would you have to find in your house
Oh, yeah. Okay.
before you assumed someone was putting them there?
Yeah, so I think last time you asked this
Did
as
I ask
well,
the same one
right?
last time?
And I think I said,
Come on, Kelsey.
I think three. So if there were three, I'd be like, oh my God, like I left a door open. But more than three, I'd be like, okay, something's up. Because they only travel in odd numbers.
What?
So
Huh?
yeah, look it up. No, I'm just kidding.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cobbler with Cobblers. Today I am joined by Andrew
Yep, Samansky.
Smansky. What is your title here?
I guess I'm one of the department managers. I know Serge is like the main production manager, and then Mike's the assistant production manager. So I don't, I guess
You're one of our
department
lead
manager,
boot
lead.
makers,
I run a department. So
Right on. And how long have you worked with us?
so I started in January 2016.
Okay.
Back at the old shop on Market, and then I worked. I think I left either mid to late 18.
Okay.
I started at another boot company for a little bit.
So off and on, like 4 years ish so far.
I think in the industry, I was trying to do the math earlier. I'm in the industry going on 8 years, and I think that's 3 years at another boot company and going on 5 years with Nick's.
Gotcha.
With 2 different runs. So
Okay,
like earlier,
gotcha.
and then I came back.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
Today, Kelsey's made us some raspberry cobbler.
Raspberry cobbler.
Raspberry cobbler. So let's
Super exciting.
dig in. Yeah, these are fresh raspberries.
Yeah, I picked these
Really?
out of my dad's yard yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah,
They're
it-
even homesteaded. Okay.
Yeah.
It
Cool.
smells amazing.
So, did you how did you prepare the raspberries?
Well,
Kelsey?
so what I did is you just dump them in a sink with cold water and you swish them around, and that gets all the bugs and like little dirt pieces and leaves off.
Okay.
And then you let them sit in sugar for half an hour before you bake it.
It smells very good.
Yeah, it's very
raspberry.
fragrant.
Yeah.
The color is
Yeah, you're
something
gonna have
else.
to get like a
a close up.
close up of this.
Yeah.
Very colorful.
I'm a big fan of tart.
Oh.
I really like tart desserts. So I was really excited when I heard it was raspberry.
Talked a little bit about your background. How did you start working at Nick's?
So my father-in-law, he was the Nick's leather cutter.
Oh, okay.
And then he was also management a little bit, yeah.
Gotcha.
So before Surge, he was kind of, I wasn't really paying attention to titles that much, but yeah, I know he was management for a bit in leather cutting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Craig Jacob.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved everyone that I worked with. I was under Joe Kimmel. It was funny back then, like, so now, like, if everyone has their own racks and
Sure.
stuff and their own station. At the old shop, it was 3 bottomers around a table, and we all had like one, row, totally different. You couldn't move for racks,
Gotcha.
know.
Yeah. Kind of all sharing the same workspace.
Yeah, just racks and racks and racks of boots all piled up. So I really like this setup a lot more.
Yeah, you guys just got new like workbenches earlier this year, right?
And I'm excited for the new construction that we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
The opening everything up. It's going to be nice. I'm
Yeah.
super excited.
I think that will really help with the general flow of like the entire company.
Oh, for sure.
Like from sales to production
And from
shipping, everything.
a noise pollution standpoint as well. We're all in one room.
So what does your day-to-day kind of look like here?
So usually I start off with a bit of, so I'm mainly doing QC and like workflow stuff. So I still do a lot of the production, but instead of working a lot on my own sort of boots, I'm more of like, okay, this went wrong, I gotta fix this, or you know, I play to everybody's strengths, you know, and this person's better at this kind of construction, this person's better at this kind of construction. So just as the boots flow into the department, dispersing them to the people
Gotcha.
that'll have the fastest, best workflow out of the department. And a lot of training, especially lately. You know, we have some older individuals
Mm-hmm.
thinking about retiring soon. So we're getting some greenhorns in.
Right.
What's really cool about this place is that it feels like it's more of a career,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so like sometimes you get someone who just wants a placeholder job and then they're like, oh, you know, that's actually pretty solid. I'm going to stay here. And those are the people that I love. It just kind of sucks to train somebody. It takes a while because it's skilled
Sure.
labor. And then you find out that they're only here for a more short term, which
Right.
is fine. Everyone,
Yeah.
you know, got their own dreams and lives.
Yeah.
but
Everyone's got kind of their
I
own
just
path,
wish,
but-
you know, everyone I trained would stay forever.
Right.
you know?
Sure. Yeah. I think it is really cool that, I mean, that's been a really big priority, I know, for Shyler and for Steve, is making bootmaking
Yeah.
a career,
Right.
and not just a career where it's like, if you want this to be a career, you have to go out and start your own thing,
Right.
which is what so many bootmakers, you know,
No, they do a really,
before have
really
done.
good job here. They're
Yeah.
super accommodating.
with so you said you're basically kind of running the ship a little bit, in like the bottoming, lasting
Right. Yeah. So
department,
like,
correct?
yeah, the bottoming, lasting. We're trying to transition a little bit as well. I would like, so there's two kinds of bottoming. There's like the traditional yellow glue
Mhm.
contact cement.
Sure.
And then there's like a German glue / white glue station. I would like to take that into the department as well.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So
right.
like the glue box and that whole
Right.
station
There's
with
some-
the heating stand.
Because I don't think so. Currently, not all of our constructions get hydraulic pressed. I would like to see all of our boots get hydraulic pressed. I think Nathan was talking about that as well.
Yeah.
And that would just be much easier if it was all in one sort of department,
Yeah.
so we could control the flow a little bit better.
Yeah. Can you kind of talk about that process, the differences, like white glue process versus yellow glue?
Yeah, so a lot of our wedge foam soles, and I think now our Sierra soles.
Mhm.
I know some of our Sierra soles and our wedge soles, they come with a cement on it now, just kind of heat and stick, which is super nice.
Mhm.
They have to have the German glue. It's super strong, but it's kind of it has a super strong smell. I'm not so sure if it's like toxic. I know that our operator has like a full
We do the full
enclosed,
space suit.
yes,
And,
so that he has his own
Yeah.
air that he's breathing. It's all getting
Mhm.
pumped up. And then everything else is kind of yellow contact cement, which it's pretty strong.
there's a lot you guys do back there, and that we used to do, like with hand welting and stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just-
Hand welting is.
it's terrible on your.
Yeah, I
your-
did that
your
at the other
body and
boot
your
company,
hands,
and I didn't
yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever. There's I saw a picture online of a professional yo-yoer, and like it showed all his capillaries. Like it was like
Oh,
an X-ray. It
did he
just
have-
completely like all his capillaries were super
Right.
broken. I don't know if
Mhm.
that's the term.
Just from the
From yo-yoing.
the yarn
Yeah.
pulling tight and
So like
cutting
I
off
just
circulation.
imagine what a lifetime of hand sewing
Oh,
will
absolutely.
do to your fingers
That's
and circulation.
I know what bootmaking can do
Yeah.
if it's not checked.
Right. And you gotta have really good form.
Yeah.
You know, even just the basic hammering.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure you're not gripping the hammer wrong. You're gonna mess up your thumb,
Mhm.
your wrists, your
But yeah.
elbows.
We do a really good job of like making sure priority is on the health of the bootmakers with
Right.
the glue box, the spacesuit for gluing,
Yeah.
and then assessing those things that have been just legacy for our company of like hand welting and
Right.
like, why are we doing this? What's the benefit to this? Is
It's-
that benefit worth the health of our bootmakers?
And they're super, like I said earlier, receptive. Like, you know, we're pretty passionate
Yeah.
about the trade, so there's not a whole lot of compromise when it comes to like the quality, right?
Right.
So it's got to be that nice mix,
Mhm.
you know.
What do you think is kind of your favorite part of the job?
You know, in my position specifically, I just like not really knowing what to expect from a day to day, right? You know, so it's
Sure,
something, you know, I just like the challenge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The flexibility, having to be flexible in the position, right?
Not just the same kind of monotonous
Right.
over and over. Yeah.
And you know, and that is also there. Like if I'm just like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the the department runs pretty well. So if I wanted to do more of a production for the day, which I'm usually doing production, but if I wanted to just have like a routine for a day and just last for a day or bottom for a day,
Sure.
you know, that can
Do
happen.
that, kinda get your numbers out. But
Right.
then when you want to challenge, you want to try and
Yeah. And I
improve
really
things.
like boot design. I'm not super like, I'm not in all the meetings for
Mhm.
boot design, just when, you know, it pertains to the department. But I really like the challenge of like, this is what we want to do. How can we make this work?
Right. Yeah.
That's
I
a lot
know
of
we've
fun for
been
me.
talking a lot over the last like month or two, like the 55 wedge challenge of
right.
like people really want the arch support,
Hmm.
but they want a wedge sole boot. Like, what's the best way to do that without just stacking up pieces
Right.
of leather that all have to be
Thinking
sanded
outside
off?
the box,
yeah,
being novel.
yeah, doing something a little bit new because there's multiple ways to do it that have been done, but we feel like there's a better approach that we can
Right.
take, and so we're taking our time with it. And on that note, what are some common challenges or obstacles that you run into?
I would say this is a sarcastic answer.
Okay.
The Weather Shield Brown Smooth is a big challenge. That one's, it's like rubber, man. It's my sarcastic answer.
That's all right.
But on a real note, and I think this is a good problem to have, but just the pace at which Nyx has grown in the past 2 years puts a big constraint on space.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's been a bit of a frustration because not only are these boots, you know, they're specialized labor, right?
Mm-hmm.
The tooling required, the jacks, the desks,
Yeah.
the pliers, you know, you got to wait on a lot of that stuff when you get new people in.
Yeah.
So you can hire, you know, all day long, but you still have to have like a bit of a backlog for tools and stuff
Yeah,
and
get in.
stations and the space required.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
been a bit of frustration, but like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know,
For sure.
for
Yeah,
this
like
stuff.
with the construction we were
Yeah.
talking about. But yeah, I mean that's it's just this constant back and
Mhm.
forth, it feels like, which I think is normal. Yeah, I think as we drop these walls, I think it's going to be a big improvement because there's a whole bunch of space back there.
Yeah,
that-
for sure. Yeah, this
Yeah.
used to be a Halloween store.
Yeah, I think it was a department store at one point.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like Spirit
It's
Halloween.
funny when we did the move, we were like cleaning out the back. We found like a bunch of like prop swords and stuff. you know.
Nice.
It was a pretty
That's
fun
awesome.
day. Yeah. Almost parallel with the move, we started doing a lot more lean stuff. So boots were sitting around a lot less. Things were
Gotcha.
starting
Yeah.
to flow through a lot better. So it was
A little more lean manufacturing.
yeah, it was better. It put, you know, it took a little bit of changing your thinking, right?
Mhm.
Because you know, you're used to boots just sitting there for days and then you're like, okay, next, you know, pair.
Yeah.
But now it's, you know, sewing to lasting, you know, moves through very quick, which
Yeah.
is nice. And you processed rebuilds as well, right?
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you found in a rebuild? Because I used to do the same thing.
Actually, I found almost what seemed like someone's lunch. Like so there's like a full piece of super stale bread
Oh, nice.
in
yeah.
one. And I think I found there's like almonds or something. And the same, it was like
Okay.
16-inch logger boots. But that's honestly it for me.
I don't understand. Where is the bread?
In the boot.
It was
Like
in the lace.
inside the.
Inside the boot, like in the toe of the boot. Like I always,
Oh, God.
when you're processing repairs,
like,
you
reach
reach
in
in
there.
to see how the
It's-
insole is and
right.
stuff. And I reached in and found just like a super stale piece of bread.
Mhm.
And it's like fairly common to find things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. Yeah, I've found dead mice.
No.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
so
dead mice
other
is pretty
Kelsey,
common actually.
who just started working in the retail store,
Mhm.
first week, dead mouse in one,
Yep.
and then a spider in another.
I haven't done spider. No.
Yeah, so it must have been
I've
like
had underwear.
I think
though.
it crawled. Oh.
Yeah.
So you mentioned brown weather shield is tough to work on. Is that your least
Yeah.
favorite leather to work with?
Right now it is.
Is it?
Right now
Okay.
it changes. You know, there's like a running list.
Gotcha.
Right?
What's your what's the top 3 most difficult to
You know,
to
a
work
lot
on?
of the Wicket and Craig, with the patina, like the double
Mhm.
stuffed. It's just so oily, right? If I don't know if you've looked at one right after it's been lasted, but you're getting it so tight when we're hand lasting and making those pleats that the oil is actually getting squeezed out like a sponge.
Really? Wow.
You know, in places. And then I guess some of our rough out max support, super boardy in the heels.
Gotcha.
You know, making those pleats in the heels and getting the tacks, which are very finicky sometimes. They don't want to clench.
What's your favorite leather to work with, then?
I like all the CXL. You know, I think that's a favorite of the shop. For Mike, it depends on what sole is on it, right?
Yeah,
they go pretty easily, but depends on the sole. And then, you know, I do like just the max support smooth black.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite to wear and one of my favorites to work with.
Gotcha.
It kind of goes pretty smoothly.
I don't.
But the rough outs, I don't know. The rough outs are just tougher. Something about the
interesting.
tanning process.
I never would have thought that.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. It's just like tougher lasting.
Yeah, they don't
Warrior.
pleat very nicely. Sometimes they go the other way, right? Some of the Wicket and Craigs that are pebbled, it's so thin, right? And so like if it's on like a 67, especially bigger sizes, it's wide. It's hard to get all the air out of that instep area. You start pulling too hard, it might rip.
Just rip the leather, yeah.
Which is not fun.
I think natural Dublin was probably, from what I understood, the least favorite.
Oh yeah. Especially with the mock toes and stuff, it didn't really work super well.
Yeah, it's really is that problem solving thing again of like trying to figure out like, okay, this is a really cool leather. We want to offer this, but it doesn't work with a 67 last, or it doesn't work with a mock toe, but it does work really well for this construction, like mixing and matching and trying to fit all those pieces of puzzle
and you know,
together.
it sucks sometimes because like, you know, leather will work. Everything usually works really well at the H&W, but I know the 67 last has a, you know, very popular following of customers, and it just doesn't feel good to just be like, oh, well, we can't offer this for you because it just doesn't work.
To that note, I think that's another thing, like in the last couple of years, I think we've done a really good job of like looking at things we used to say that we can't do this, and reassessing like, why can't we do this? Can we really not do this, or were we just not using the try harder method to find a solution? And there's a lot of things that we used to say we definitely can't do this, and we do it now.
And you know, I think that's also a result of growth, right? So because we're growing, we're bigger, we have access to more resources, things like that.
Kind of looking over the bootmaking process, your job, what is something that you think is like overlooked or misunderstood?
That's a hard one.
Like what's something like people that aren't don't eat, sleep, breathe this world, like that they don't understand about like bootmaking. That's until you're here in it that you realize.
I feel like the only thing that comes to mind is maybe when a process is reevaluated and sometimes removed, right? So previously we removed the McKay stitch, and that may or may not have caused, you know, some drama in people who only knew the McKay stitch, right? But you know, when you sat down and you thought about our construction, it didn't make much sense to do it.
Gotcha.
Right. So I think like sometimes that might get overlooked a little bit. The sort of knee-jerk reaction to one of your favorite products changing, right? Without thinking about why we've done what we've done.
No, I think that's a good point of like, it's again that idea of like sometimes we do things just because we've always done it. And I think we experienced the same thing when we got rid of the hand welting of this optic of, well, you're not spending as much time and putting as much work into it, so it's a lesser product. That's not necessarily true.
And that's some of like I don't want to say reservation, but you know, shifting more into like a modern production. You know, we're like, it's just, I don't want people to think that we're sacrificing to have like a more efficient, better, streamlined process without sacrificing the quality, right? I don't want people to just think like, oh, they're going to like automation and machines, they're ruining the product, you know, things like that, when it's the same product. It's just, you know, you might see faster lead times and a more fulfilling career and a happier bootmaker.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a difficult thing to navigate. It's just it's interesting working in a field that is so kind of anchored in its legacy,
right.
and trying
It's
to
a lot of
like,
passion.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our customers are amazing. The amount of passion they have for our boots, for the positive and the negative.
Right.
Like, I don't know if maybe I'm just not into other industries like I am into boots, but I don't think there's communities around products like there are around boots. It's pretty amazing.
I think I agree. Yeah, it kind of feels different. I've tried a couple of different things, but something about making boots is just so fun, and that's why it's important to, like, especially within my department, I make sure that you know how to do it by hand before you do other things. That way, it does preserve a bit of the craft.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I said, like, there's different leathers. There's always going to be a purpose for, we're
Absolutely.
always going to need the hand. And then circling back to that question, something that gets overlooked or misunderstood, I would say the balance of the boot. A lot of the times I see questions like, oh, why can't, like the 55 wedge, for example, why can't you just slap a 55? Or like different heel profiles on different lasts sometimes get a little wonky, right? But it's just, we really have to think about how that affects you're leaning too far back, you're leaning too far forward, are you, you're going to mess up your balance of, going all the way up,
That's another one of those things of like trying new things and like what works with what. Like, one of the most complicated things for me, and it's one of the things that isn't, I think, visible to most customers, are heel caps.
Yeah.
Of just the conversation of like a V-bar 430 is thicker than a Quabug, V100 thicker still. Quabug works great on block heels, but it doesn't work on logger heels. 430s don't work on block heels when it gets bigger than a size 12.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm on Reddit too, answering questions a lot. And I think recently I answered a question about bigger and wider sizes with the 430. And I think it's another thing that people don't think about is, as that room for error shrinks, everyone has to get more precise, and it's just way easier for the boot to just get scrapped. And it's just super unfortunate to see sometimes, especially like after it's stitched, it's almost done, right? And to see the boot die, right at the end is
almost a finished
tragic.
product. Yeah, absolutely. In terms of like your overall bootmaking journey, what's kind of the most rewarding part of the process for you?
I think now that I'm in a more management role, I really like seeing the people who, like, like Jamin, for example, seeing him learn new things and like seeing them all, learn new things and like master their craft. And, and sometimes they're, they might, like I said earlier, sometimes it's just a job, right? But like the people who really, watching them succeed and actually like they're like, oh, like heck yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. That's
I lasted my first pair of heels and they match, just like, oh, nice answer. Dude.
Yeah it's almost infectious, the kind of the pride when you're in this industry and making boots for people, and almost just like the boot nerdum.
Yeah,
that goes, like, you really start to geek out about these things. Like I tease Kelsey all the time about like she'll point something out. I was like, do you see what you just did there? You just talked about the patina of a pair of boots.
I knew nothing about boots. No, I knew absolutely nothing about boots when I started.
Yeah.
Like a year and a half ago. And yeah, recently Lucas has been catching me talking about specific like construction things or the patina. Or I'll like point out if something is like lopsided.
Right. And
he's like, you see what you're doing? I'm like, I'm not going to admit it.
We built a pair of, I think it was the Becca boot on the 67 last. And she was just...
Those are some good looking boots.
Yeah. I walk the line. I don't know if I'm like, I'm not quite like a boot nerd, right? Like I don't think I would enter the Thunderdome or anything.
Sure. Yeah.
I enjoy the craft a lot, but I don't know. I've been thinking more and more about getting more into the history of the boot. Something that inspired that was actually removing the Mackay and like learning about
looking into it.
You know, the Mackay being a more vamp tucked under construction. And that kind of inspired me to kind of do some looking, you know, look into more of like the styles and origins.
You know, when we try and be innovative and think of new designs, new patterns, new options, sometimes all it takes is like looking back rather than trying to reinvent the wheel and like what has been done before that isn't being done anymore. And
something that I would like to see played with a bit is the monk strap. It's like I
don't know what that is.
It's this strap that, and I was, before I got into a more management role, I came up with this idea of kind of like Velcro but for boots, right? I just didn't get far into the development. I started to do some stuff. Actually ruined a pair of Roberts.
Nice.
You know, making them, they can be fixed. They're just, the eyes are just like totally too big. So I got to put in some big washers and fix that. But you know, you just have like a series of like maybe 4 or 5 straps on a 6-inch, and you just strap them across. Right, like that's inspired from the.
It's like the Back to the Future shoes.
Yeah, that was a bit.
There's not a button though.
Right, no button. No, we could do that though. Maybe
add a button and some lights, and I think you got something.
So like, imagine like our tanker, but like instead of it wraps around, there's just a series of straps that you can either button or strap. Or I didn't really want to do buckles, but the monk strap is more of like this big piece that kind of comes across, and then I think you have like 1 or 2 buckles that you buckle in.
That's from like World War I or World War II style boots, right? Like
I'm not sure.
Boots.
Like I said, I need to get more into my boot lore.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Do you actually own 20 pairs of boots?
You know, I think it's more than 20 pairs at this point.
Wow, that's a lot. And how many are Nicks?
So 9 pairs of Nicks.
That's solid.
Yeah, like 20 pairs of boots.
Just 23,
store. I think. I try to count in my head, but I always miss 2 or 3. I mean, it's because I've sold boots for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
So, and I used to work off commission. So at Mickey's, as you know, it's like 1% commission or something, and so I would just let that commission build up, and then buy stuff from the store.
Oh, I see.
I would
Okay.
almost never take the cash. It starts off with like, you have 1 pair. Yeah, you need a second pair so you can rotate them.
Yeah. I know how it goes.
And then you need a pair for hiking. You need a pair for dress. Yeah. You need a pair for like to cycle for each of those for each of those occasions. You need a pair in every color.
And I had 6, but I gave a pair to Nick, Jarrett, the Chelseas.
The Chelsea, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm super happy those worked for him. And then a pair to my brother-in-law. And so I have my old firefighting boots. I've got the Roberts that I've destroyed for lack of, they can be fixed. They're not gone. And then I have one of our earlier so this is when we were testing the 55 and the wedge. We had it on the riverfront. Yeah. I really like the riverfront. I might like we were talking about, the balance isn't right, so probably get those resold to something else. I haven't decided yet, but I like them. I like that the tongue being a part of the vamp. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's a really clean design.
Then I got these are my daily wears, but
some Travelers.
Yeah, they're just regular Travelers, right?
Totally.
They're just totally not contraband Travelers.
What am I saying there?
Nothing. They're nothing.
Is that a wedge sole with a padded collar? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's
those actually look sweet.
Hey, thanks, man.
Was the black slip sole a mistake, or is that on purpose?
No, that was on purpose. I did that, and then the
padded collar is pretty cool.
So I love the padded collar, and it's super nice because then like my sock doesn't have to go all the way up. It's super soft.
That actually, it's not contraband.
Oh, we have
because I'm made a super customizable boot product.
Perfect.
Where you can just spec every single
thing.
Cool,
because it's on Reddit if anyone wants to look at it.
Great. Yeah.
I think at the time it was definitely contraband though.
Probably.
Yeah, totally off the books. And then it's got the 5 eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to stop talking now.
Yeah.
I'm saying some other things now that I'm looking closer at it.
No, it was just that though. What I really liked is, and this wouldn't go super well in production, but I did the 2-tone, so the sides were originally just plain beeswax, and then I did the tops brown. to match
Oh.
the padded collar.
Interesting.
So it's like a cool two-tone. So I had like the black and the black, and then I had the brown and the brown.
Dang,
Right.
I should have worn my black and brown boots. Apparently that's it's not allowed. Black and brown are
No?
like
Says who?
that's style voodoo.
Style voodoo. Who's telling you these things, Kelsey?
It's a thing. It's a thing. Mixing
Yeah.
blacks and browns, I guess.
Really?
Or, yeah. I think it's
Well, I guess I'm just
neither of us have
I'm
style,
ruining
apparently.
everyone's day
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
The only problem is I have to wear shorts with my boots
To show 'em off.
Yeah, to show off the padded collar.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not. At first, I was like, boots and shorts.
Boots and shorts.
But I've been rocking
Hot
it
boot
every day.
summer.
It's been pretty nice. Yeah.
We're
I feel like
trendsetters here.
yeah.
That's the thing.
What do you think about boots and shorts?
You know,
Not for you.
there's a time and a place.
Summer.
What's that time and place?
Yeah, that's close. I last summer when I was working here, I had never seen so many boot and short combos.
Well, last year was
It was-
the first hot boot summer. That
It was deemed
what it was
hot
all
boot
about.
summer,
Mm.
and it was a lot to process.
I think Grant's the one that started the boots
Yeah.
and shorts
Yep.
around here.
that's him.
Yep.
He gave me the confidence
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
to be my true boots and shorts self.
And now I don't. I mean, I don't even notice it anymore.
I
It looks normal to me.
first of all, I don't really wear shorts much, but I don't have any boots that make sense to wear with shorts.
All boots, man.
I don't think that
Almost
that's,
all of my boots are 8 or 10 inch tall,
These are eight.
except for I guess I could rock these Thermans with it's almost
no,
the
those
same
would look
boot.
great with.
anything that's like a hiking boot you could do.
Yeah,
Or
so
shorts.
these are new, so maybe I'll start
Yeah.
rocking the boots and shorts.
Do you have
but
anything under a 6?
I only have a pair of Roberts, which I
Like
think
a
would look a
6.
little funky in shorts because they're very dress casual.
No, I even take it. I wear sweat shorts sometimes. You know, I take it a step further sometimes. I know Micah wears sweats. He wears joggers and
He wears
sweats with
joggers
his
He,
with
boots.
his
he
boots
rocks
on.
it though.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Like
on
you can't
him.
even tell those are boots that he's
No.
wearing. They look like
Are those
shoes.
Alder?
Yeah,
Alders?
those are
okay.
Alderts. I think he did black rough out with a Christie
Christie,
sole,
yeah,
which
mhm.
looks
good.
really good.
That's
yeah,
pretty similar to this. I like that.
Yeah.
A lot.
maybe we'll give it a shot. Boots and shorts.
Do you own boots? I never see you wear boots. You have a? Did you say you have a Becca?
I have
She has one pair.
no. I have 2 pairs. I have a pair of Urban Drifters that, while I was in the process of breaking them in, I had a pair of Chelsea's made
Yeah.
for to test them, and now I wear those all the time.
I miss my Chelsea's
Just
so
not
much.
not in the summer. It's too hot for me. But
Nick.
in the winter, I'm wearing them every day.
Please treat those right.
He does. He does.
Yeah, he loves his boots. He's pretty good at upkeep. I'm terrible.
As soon as he gets his Western boots, though, he's never gonna touch those things again.
No, that's all he'll wear until they fall off. Yeah. Dude, my first break-in was, so I got my first pair here,
Mhm.
and they were functional. They were for.
Did
so
you?
I was doing firefighting.
I was gonna say, did you
Yeah.
work here when you got them, or
Right,
did
yeah.
you got them for fire? Though?
Mhm. So I was volunteering. So I was
Gotcha.
doing like, it wasn't much. I picked up a shift here and there, but routinely it was Thursday evenings. So
Mhm.
I would leave here, go to work, and then come back. That was a little brutal, but yeah, my first pair I just wore for 48 hours essentially, and just broke them all in once. I slept in them because
Oh my
on
gosh.
shift, and
Yeah.
I got some new calluses now on
Nice.
my feet from that cuboid. I don't have a cuboid anymore.
Oh no. Yeah, first break-in is always interesting. It's to the point now where, I mean, I've done it 20 times.
Yeah. Gotta have the darn tough socks.
Yeah,
That's all.
the darn tough socks are
Yep.
the way to go to really make sure it's not an issue. But
I love darn tough.
I've it's a good plug there
Yeah.
for darn tough.
No, they're great. They're
Yeah,
really
they
good.
are. They're
I'm
amazing
wearing them right
socks.
now.
Me too.
I really like the
I got the hiking socks on.
which reminds me I gotta get some more. But the pair that I have of darn tough right now they're my favorite. They're really nice color. You can't see it because they're underneath my padded collar, but it's got like cool accents and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, they got some cool ones. I think I've got a pair that's like I think it's like a bear riding a unicycle or something like that. It's pretty sweet.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty
On
sweet.
like the foot or like the upper.
On the upper.
Okay.
So if I'm wearing some short boots, I can
Yeah, wear
show
those
off.
with get some.
Gotta do boots and shorts.
river
and then
fronts,
we'll
yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. Talk about style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes just like watching Kelsey's facial reactions as we talk about these things. She looks very impressed.
That's not true.
So when you worked in fire, did you wear other brands of boots or just our boots? Like, did you try like non-handmade?
Pretty much just these. Yeah, our
Gotcha.
boots. I mean, there's because I did structure, forest, and EMT. So when you're doing structure, you have to wear like the boots that come with the bunker gear.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like rubber, but everything else I was in my Nicks.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you notice like a big difference there in terms of just like overall like quality support? Between the
like
two?
the bunker boots, the boots that came with the bunker gear, was it just they're just pull-ons, just slipping around
gotcha.
everywhere, right?
Okay.
So they're just kind of not super great.
Yeah.
But
do you say there's like what do you think kind of sets handmade boots apart from mass produced?
I mean the arch support for sure. I think just having that leather insole is super great, the way that it breaks in and molds to the foot. And it calls them little spoons that that your feet, your feet create little spoons inside the boot. But it's just so nice just to like, it's just hugging your foot. Feels nice.
Absolutely.
The boot knows your foot.
Yeah. That great break-in you were just praising about your first pair.
Yeah. I
so
mean,
wonderful to go through.
It's a painful first.
Yeah.
It's like a relationship. When you first enter it, sometimes it's awkward
and
a
little bit of an abusive
painful,
relationship.
but then,
I was gonna say it's to the point now. I'm now that I don't really like that we're comparing this to relationships now that I'm at like 23. But
no.
It's to the point now where like I put on a new pair of boots and I feel it and I'm like, ooh, there's that break in.
Right.
I'll get a new pair and then wait until right after I'm finished with the break in that I'll think about another pair.
Right.
I don't know. There might be some trauma there, but
So you don't want to compare that to relationships?
No.
And like I don't know, the everything. It's not just like because it's like a package deal, right? You got the heel that contributes to the arch,
Sure.
But then you also have the insole and the way that the leather is pulled and gives you that shape of the last. All of it in concert together to create such a nice feeling in your arch. It's hard. It's hard to beat.
So other than patching up wounds with your EMT experience,
right?
What are some other hobbies of yours outside of work?
Yeah, I'm into traditional weight training right now, strength training.
Okay.
I love it. I've got a 3-year-old, so it's kind of hard to work around, right? So I just go super early before work almost every day.
What do you mean by traditional weight training?
Just like, lifting weights.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Just like, I think, as opposed to more of a, the word escapes me. There's like specific gyms for CrossFit as opposed to CrossFit.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah,
It's more traditional, more repetitive, slow movements,
right.
Isolated instead of a more full body
I see.
sort of thing. Other than that, I'm really into sci-fi fantasy books.
Oh, really?
Just like really, like almost like space opera. Do you know anything by Brandon Sanderson?
That name rings a bell.
So his project is super ambitious. It's this overarching. There's multiple series in it, but the entirety exists in the same universe. It's called the Cosmere.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
How many books are there?
Oh
in his
man,
series.
So a lot. So there's the main series. There's, I think the 5th one is coming out in September, and they're really long, and it's 5 of 10.
Wow.
And then there's multiple other series, and there's still more series that have to come out, and they're all gonna kind of, it's fun to read the individual stories, which have like, their individual characters, and watch it all kind of come together. But I mean, anything, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. There's a new book by Pierce Brown coming out. He wrote Red Rising. It's a really good sci-fi book. Stephen King, it's super nice.
Yeah.
Before, management, I have a little less time to do this, but that's pretty much, when I'm back there working.
You do audiobooks?
Yeah, audiobooks, The Wheel of Time.
Okay. Yeah.
They have an Amazon Prime show now. I don't know if you've read the books.
Yeah.
Super long. And Brandon Sanderson that's how I got into Brandon Sanderson, because when Robert Jordan passed away before he could finish the series, Brandon Sanderson came in and tied it up all very nicely.
Gotcha.
So I kind of leapt into his sort of universe. But
yeah, I think a lot of people back there listen to audiobooks. It's always interesting
yeah,
trying to figure out like what people are
I should have
listening
a
to.
book club. There's a few people who listened to some of the books. I signed people into my don't listen to me Amazon. I sign people into my Audible account sometimes, and because it's fun to listen to other people's perspectives on the same books.
A book club would be cool.
Yeah, I know we've got a lot of D&D.
We talked about that last time
Mm-hmm.
during Cobbler with Cobblers.
Yeah,
So,
I used to play when I was younger, and actually Alan, super into D&D.
Really,
He's done a one-off game for me. It was super fun.
bunch of nerds here.
Again, it's just
You're
know,
speaking to yourself too.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
it's the time aspect.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
My daughter, she's 3, so she's at that age. It's very hard to keep up.
Going back to the kind of the boot nerd thing, I don't know. There's something about boots and just nerdom and
I don't know. I think they're just so. I mean, for me, it's just attractive to look at. A nice pair of boots. It draws the eye. Just the form of it. It's just like really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see future boots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what kind of crazy stuff we can. We still have our flagship sort of P&W build, but I'd like to see some of the crazy cool stuff we can come up with.
Well, you saw the prototype for the high end one, right?
Yeah, I really liked that, the heel on it.
Yeah.
Like I even if it's like I have to get a re-heel on a pair of boots, like I want that heel.
It's amazing. It looks great. I feel like I've been kind of desensitized almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the right word, but like
Also,
boots are great, but sometimes I look at boots and I'm just like, those are boots.
Yeah, there's days where they all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
No?
But that pair of boots, I guess it's not a pair, it's just one, was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is nice.
Mm-hmm. There was 2 things I really liked about that. I liked the midsole, the way that it was. The way that it was.
The way that it was. I don't think we can get into
Full
specifics.
stop.
The way that it was.
Just the way that it was.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, it is the epitome of just like form and function at the highest level. We can't talk anymore about it, but it's amazing. It's fantastic. I got another one for you though.
All right.
What are 3 pieces of advice you'd give your younger self?
Man, one, just keep going, man. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things pan out.
Yeah. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Piggyback on yours a little bit, with the whole. I listened to your 10-year of sales podcast with Schuyler. Man, just put in Bitcoin.
Oh
Just
right,
put in
yeah,
Bitcoin,
I forgot
man.
you were big into.
I was big into crypto, and I got
Yeah.
absolutely wrecked.
and that was
dude.
like 2 years ago, right, or last year.
Yeah, that was a full year.
I
don't want to get too into the weeds about it, but I just got too heavy into a company that was supposed it just turned out bad.
Did they
went bankrupt.
exit
man.
Oh yeah, see I've heard of that happening before, and
I was
been wary of it.
Yeah, it was, again, I don't want to get too, in a nutshell, it was like they're branding themselves as a crypto sort of like bank, right, sort of thing. They I even have their debit card and stuff, right? But I just got absolutely destroyed. Yikes. Dude, it sucks. But did you end up getting?
I dipped my toes in, and then I was like,
then you're out. All right, good for you, man.
Wasn't
pretty rough.
Wasn't feeling it.
Yeah,
but
happens.
Yep.
Builds character.
Yeah.
Getting wrecked builds character.
Okay.
What about you? You like crypto?
I can't say I understand it even a little bit.
Hey, you like crypto?
Yeah. Hey kids, you want to buy some crypto? Sucks.
Okay. That's 2.
That's 2. I don't know. See, if I give myself advice, though, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I like where I am today,
That's such a good answer.
Yeah. I mean, if I could change anything but have the same outcome, right? I might have finished off college. I did like 3.5 years, like right at the edge of my degree.
Okay. So you were almost
computer science degree.
Mm-hmm.
But Who knows? If I finished it, I might not be here because I'd
Yeah,
be
you
working at
might-
a bank or something.
Yeah, making a whole lot more money, but it'd be
But
boring.
not having as
Yeah,
much fun.
exactly.
I would maybe not have found Brandon Sanderson and delicious raspberry cobbler.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear that? It's delicious.
It's really good, actually.
Yeah, it is really good. I've finished two servings already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, that's really good advice. That's a great answer. I wouldn't give myself
Yeah.
advice because I wouldn't be where I am.
Right.
That's-
It'd just be a pep talk, really. I wouldn't tell myself to change much. Just be
just,
like,
hey,
you know,
you do
do
you,
it.
bud.
Keep doing it.
But also buy more Bitcoin
Yeah, buy Bitcoin.
and don't sell it yet.
Maybe not even Bitcoin. Just buy Tesla, like 2017.
That's probably
buy
the better
Tesla.
way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more assured.
Buy GameStop. The short squeeze. The big
Trust
one's
me.
coming.
Trust me. Just buy it and hold on for dear life. What's been making you happy recently?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Things are pretty good. You know, again, being a dad is super fun. You know, 3 is pretty challenging, but as challenging as it is, this is the funniest she's ever been. You know, she can talk, she can make jokes and stuff, and it's just funny what her little brain comes up with.
The creativity
Yeah.
of kids at that age, it just astounds me sometimes. I, again, don't have kids,
Yeah.
but I've been like an uncle to a lot of my friends' kids, and it's
Yeah.
really fun being around them
Right.
at that
And
3
they
to
pick up
5
the
range.
funniest things. I don't
Yeah.
even, sometimes it's like, where did you hear that?
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's really funny. Other than that, we got the new Red Rising book coming out. Should be good.
Is that
Should be
about
good.
Mars? Sounds like it's about Mars.
Yeah, it is in a big way. But I don't want to out myself too much as a huge nerd. But it's just future dystopic sort of.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay.
Mars is heavily in it.
Are you excited for the new Dune movie?
Yeah, actually, I read the books.
Really?
Yeah, I liked them, but I prefer sci-fi to fantasy. I
Okay,
lean more
more
towards the
fantasy.
fantasy side of
Gotcha.
it.
I was gonna say because I'm pretty sure I don't know if it still holds up.
the movie
but
was pretty good. It's a
the book
little
is
artsy. Did you watch the movie?
yeah.
Yeah.
The book is said to be like the best sci-fi novel of all time. I don't know if that still holds up.
Yeah, people say that Lord of the Rings is the best fantasy ever, but
Oh, okay.
whatever. It is what it
Okay,
is.
before we get into
you can send your
too much
emails
trouble
to,
in the
Lucas
comment section, I
Graxberger
think we're gonna cut it there.
nextboots.com.
We're gonna cut it there. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. I had fun.
It's been good talking to you. And for our listeners, thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, rank, rate, review, whatever you do on whatever that platform is. Kelsey's shaking her head.
Rank
at me.
is not one of the things
No,
you
we
can
don't
do,
rank.
but all of the other things are great.
Buy Darn Tough socks.
Buy Darn Tough socks.
They'll change your life. Darn Tough.
Also, Nick's boots. Please buy Nick's boots.
Yeah. They're a package deal.
Yeah. If you buy Darn Tough, you have to buy Nick's and
Right.
vice versa.
Sponsor us.
I mean, we're already partners with them, but
Oh, nice. Cool. Well,
all right.
Well,
cool.
Kelsey, do you want some of this cobbler?
I want one
I
of the
don't-
biscuits.
I don't think I've ever seen you eat your own cobbler.
That's because I like the biscuits.
Come eat a biscuit.
Okay.
It is soaked in raspberry.